Toni Raymus, President, Raymus Homes.
My dad, Anton Raymus, he grew up on a dairy in Manteca. He hated milking cows, so he decided to build homes and sell real estate instead. And he opened his business after World War II. He started selling homes. He added the land development a few years later, and the company grew from there. I've always been part of the home building business since I was a little kid. My dad would take us out on rides, and it always included a visit to the homes that were under construction, the subdivisions that were under development. We played in and out of trenches, in and out of houses being framed, climbed, and probably did a lot of dangerous things, but had a great time. In the 1980s, CEQA was passed, which created a lot of additional review for new home subdivisions. My dad looked at me and he said he'd had it. He didn't want to do that anymore. If I wanted to take the project on, it was mine. I asked him, how am I going to learn the more detailed parts of the business? He was pretty much a one-man shop, a few employees, and so he mentioned, call the BIA. Well, I did. Don Payne, who was the CEO at the BIA at that time, who's since passed away, he took me under his wing. He got me involved in the leadership, started me down the path of showing me what we could do as a group and how strong builders could be if we worked together. I never felt threatened by being a woman in a man's field. I was more worried and concerned about being the boss's daughter and proving myself. I worked hard to make sure that I was respected and pulled my weight. So being a female wasn't a detriment. Sometimes it was even, I took it to my advantage. I'd visit with a fellow competitor and say, oh, what did you pay for that piece of land? And he'd tell me, and I don't think he'd share that information with a fellow competitor. You know, it's funny, I won't compete when we play cards. I don't care who wins at playing cards, but I want to win and I want to sell every home. I have no idea where I got that, but maybe probably through my dad. At Raymus Homes, we have 11 employees, including my brother Bob. He's my partner, and he does the production. He oversees production, and also my daughter. She's our marketing and sales manager. And then out in the subdivision, we have about 32 trade contractors that work with us and their staffs. Some of our trade contractors have been with us 3 generations. Our plumber, his father worked with my father. His children work with us today, 3rd generation. Our electrician, 2nd generation. And our concrete is 2nd and 3rd generation in the field. Our painters, we went to high school with. Our tile contractors, we've all grown up together in the field. So we're all a team that works very hard to produce beautiful homes for our home buyers. And when we do our marketing, I focus very locally, so we do pick up things. I built in Linden, and Linden was a big cherry, that's where they grow a lot of cherries. So we did a cherry home, all decorated, and I used a John Deere tractor, the front of the tractor, and we use that as a headboard for the little boy's bedroom. So we have fun with what we do. I have a lot of support. I have a great husband who supports what we do. My children, they grew up like I did. They grew up in the trenches. They grew up playing in homes. Well, my husband and I went to high school together, but we didn't date then because he was kind of a troublemaker and I was a little quieter. We were in a wedding together in the early 80s, which we got reacquainted at that time, and we've been together ever since. He's my best friend. My daughters don't think I take myself seriously. I like to laugh at myself. I think that you shouldn't take yourself too seriously. My husband and I and our children live on a 2-acre lot just outside of the city of Manteca. So we enjoy living kind of the country life. We have a backyard chickens. We have 5 right now. I find the time outside relaxing. I like working in our garden. My husband and I compete on who can grow the best tomatoes, and some years I do win, I must admit. I enjoy cutting flowers. It's a new hobby of mine. It's trying to cut the flowers and make flower arrangements. Those are just things to wind down. You can always find 20-30 minutes. It's all you need. And I enjoy being outside. I like walking my dogs, Mac and Millie, and I even adopted a cat recently, Gary. So we have a big family now. 5 chickens, 3 animals, 2 kids, and a husband. We've been involved in the community since I can remember, and I've continued that. We were active in many organizations as a company and personally. We were involved in the startup of the Manteca Lathrop Boys and Girls Club. I now am the historian, probably 30 plus years on that board. In addition, I like serving on Goodwill Industries, some Doctors Hospital of Manteca governing board. My brother Bob, he's also involved, and he's in Give Every Child a Chance, which is an organization my dad started in the early 90s. And he's also involved in the Hope Family Shelters, which is 3 homeless shelters in our area. I went to Decatur, Georgia for a book festival with my older daughter and thought it was wonderful. So while I was there, I tracked down the founding board members and I talked to them. I got them to give me their bylaws. From there, we started the Great Valley Book Fest. It's hopefully part of my legacy that I've helped somebody. Even if it's just one person, I'll feel like I've accomplished something. I love all my jobs. I love being a wife. I love being a mother. I love running the company. I love building homes and seeing what we do. Being inducted into the Hall of Fame was a surprise and an incredible honor to be included with people that I've respected, learned from, watched and read about. I couldn't believe, but I'm happy to be here. When I told my daughter and my husband about being inducted into the Hall of Fame, and I said I couldn't believe it, she said she wasn't surprised. We've worked hard as a company. We work hard in our community. We love what we do. And when I look around at the fellow inductees, I see similar people, like-minded, and I'm delighted to be recognized with them.